to witness a blow up.
Who, me?
No, not a glow up, a blow up.
Okay, well, a glow up couldn't hurt, love. I'll take it from here. So somebody you know is rapidly gaining a following online. Maybe it's for a skill they have, or for a cat that keeps fucking around in the background of all their videos. So someone you know is rapidly gaining a following online. It's exciting to watch someone go from a humble beginning to internet famous. And you feel good knowing that your friend, who maybe felt useless to the world, is finally getting some recognition and maybe some money for doing what they love. This transformation is even more gratifying when someone is overcoming boundaries, blowing up despite living in a society. Like when we all watched Susan Boyle kill it on that one singing show despite her age and appearance. Everyone just loved her for her voice and her personality. It was refreshing to witness that in a world that's so hard on people that look a certain way or don't come from privilege.
We live in a society.
Last month, I saw this TikTok.
Every time I post a TikTok, I'm like, is this the one that changes my life? Is this it? Whatever.
And it just so happened to be on the same day, I watched 2 different small YouTube channels I subscribe to blow up. That, mixed with the fact that I myself have spent a lot of time thinking about YouTube analytics and growing my channel lately, it forced me to think about this blow-up thing a little bit too hard. Then after I started thinking about this, I saw that Tiffany Ferg put out a video about why big channels stop uploading once they get big. I will link her video below, and it almost felt like a second part to this video. Like, in other words, what happens once you do blow up. She talks about the money they make, the self-criticism that creators can kind of go through, and how blowing up can change the actual content that a creator makes. So we're going to analyze this phenomenon, and we're going to ask some of the hard questions like, is this a healthy expectation to have? How common is it to succeed, and how is that achieved? Is the market that decides what will blow up a fair one? Is there money to be made fooling people into having a blow-up mindset? And are people who have already blown up exploiting that narrative for their own gain? First though, let's define the term blow up a little better. When speaking about blowing up, I'm mostly talking about like YouTube and social media. Of course, there are other ways to blow up, traditional media and Hollywood, but we aren't as interested in those. This online blow up trend is newer, which means there's a certain lawlessness to it. It's impossible to talk about blow ups without talking about
the algorithm.
It seems like that term has been thrown around in casual conversations a lot more since 2017. And despite the fact that I'm not a doctor and I don't understand algorithms at all, I do think I understand them a little bit better than I used to. The algorithm is basically the way that a website like YouTube uses math to decide what to suggest to people. Nobody fully understands it, which is intentional so that one person couldn't just exploit the algorithm. So let's just say a YouTuber posts consistently, gets views and engagement, and one day the YouTube algorithm decides to push their content out into thousands of feeds. This can lead to exponential growth on a channel, and whenever a creator makes money, YouTube gets a cut. So YouTube is always going to push the content that keeps people on their website the longest. So this same system is used all over the internet, like social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. The difference is that YouTubers are paid per view or per click, whereas other mediums require a creator to actually monetize their content themselves. In the TikTok I showed you earlier, the guy's joking that once this TikTok blows up, it'll change his life. There are thousands of iterations where people used his sound and put their own joke over the top of it. I think it's funny because it's like, oh, this video of me doing something insanely dumb is going to be the one that blows up. But there's also some truth to the fact that people believe that if they do, it might change their life. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok express frustration that they'll basically have 80 followers and they get a couple hundred views on every video. But then one day they wake up and one of their TikToks has 2 million views and likes and comments and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, they only get maybe 50 or 100 new followers from it. And it doesn't even seem like anyone went back and watched their older videos. It was just that one video blew up and that's it. In fact, blowing up on TikTok seems to have very little value unless you do it over and over again for a year and figure out a way to monetize it. I am an avid Twitter user, but based on my experience, it seems like a viral post will only get you maybe like a couple hundred followers, but I don't think that a Twitter user will blow up overnight the same way a YouTuber could. And even if you do blow up on Twitter, you're usually not getting paid for it. Obviously, the one exception is if you're already super famous and you start a social media account, you're gonna get an instant following. I think when I started my channel, I had like maybe 3,000 Twitter followers, but my YouTube channel would probably be even smaller if I didn't have all of my sweeties that followed me over here from Twitter. So why am I talking about this? Aren't I just like this little baby YouTuber who has hopes and dreams of blowing up? Yes, and this topic is extremely relevant to me. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is check my YouTube stats, hoping that I got some big push from the algorithm. But is wanting this a bad thing? Let's explore. The idea of getting famous has always existed, but especially like in the 20th century, you're gonna move to Hollywood or move to New York.
You know what? New York is overrated.
$3, 2 bags, 1 me. Say, where does a young prostitute get started in this town?
But I would say for every one person that tried to get famous in Hollywood, there's 1,000 people online trying to get famous, at least. Young and old, people flock to social media to gain a following. Of course, there are lots of people who just go on social media to observe. Like, that's how TikTok is for me. I really don't put any effort into posting on TikTok, but I love going and just scrolling through the For You page. But so many people log on with the hope of getting big. We must stop and ask ourselves, why do I want this? And what am I going to do with it? For example, I love talking and I love editing videos, so replacing the need for a job with a YouTube channel would be awesome for me. However, I have questioned whether I even want to get close to bordering on being educational or being an activist, because I don't really want that responsibility. I would love to just ham it up and entertain, ideally without, causing any harm or controversy. I just want to let my thoughts out and make someone laugh, or make several 100,000 people laugh. But is it healthy to even try to blow up when things are so saturated? Am I just setting myself up for failure? I will get back to you on that. So how to succeed online? It seems like mostly people are either hot, funny, creative, all three. Most of the people that do well are very consistent, they post a lot, they engage with their fans, but success online is this weird thing, because you could blow up as being like the #1 mommy influencer on Instagram, have great brand deals, amazing income, tons of followers, and I won't ever know who you are. And I'm a mom, so it's like fame isn't really even fame. You're just famous in this one weird little corner of the web. So who decides what will blow up? The fans? The algorithm? Is the algorithm just? Does it make decisions fairly? I would say no, because most things that are, motivated by profit, like YouTube's algorithm, aren't very fair. But I also think a lot of cool, weird artists are given, a means to profit, so I'm not that mad at it. And finally, I want to discuss the exploitation of the blow-up. Pipes, pipes, we love pipes. There's pipes in this room, yeah. For example, isn't having a blow-up mindset just another version of the American dream? I can't deny that there's some rags to riches shit baked into the whole blow-up narrative. But we all know that there's no pure, morally flawless way to make money under capitalism, right? So, like and subscribe to Own the Capitalists. But there's another side to it. Wherever there's money being made, there are grifters watching, waiting.
I got you, you snake in the grass!
And there are dozens of small YouTube channels dedicated to teaching you how to get big on YouTube. Irony. There's also the narrative of blowing up. For example, if YouTube takes Samantha's channel and blows it up, and then Samantha goes live and is like,
oh my god, thank you, this is crazy, thanks to YouTube, I can quit my job.
And while she's being honest and transparent, it might inspire a few dozen or a few hundred new people to start their own YouTube channels. YouTube even prompts creators to share their milestones. Share when you hit 1,000 subs. Share when you hit 50,000 subs. They give out plaques when you hit 100,000 and 1 million followers, which obviously a creator is going to share, A, because they're proud of what they've done, but also because they want to thank their fans. But that is also helping YouTube recruit new creators. Don't you think those special moments are going to inspire a few people? Someone who hates their job and is watching. And each of those people is going to start a new channel and make hours of content for free with no guarantee of ever making money. And every time an ad plays on this new content, YouTube gets a cut. I, for one, think there's an economy to blowing up. And I think as time goes on, we're going to see more and more people try to exploit that narrative, that economy. And I, of course, will keep you updated on my blow-up journey because I'm not getting a fucking job. Speaking of blowing up, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. But seriously, I'm very bad at self-promotion. If I ever make a video and you want to share it, oh my god, thank you. Also, I don't really like going on Reddit, but if I ever make a video that like fits into a subreddit you like, please share it. That would help me out so much. I love that. I really appreciate it, and it, might just help me with my little dream of blowing up. And hey, maybe someday, so can you.
Goodbye.